Good morning, everybody, and I want to welcome all of our new members. We've had a couple new people in the last couple weeks, and I have not done a good job of welcome you in, so here's your welcome video. It's been, as you can imagine, a lot for everybody. And so I just wanted a couple announcements before I jump into our teaching supervision video. Basically, this is what these are. It's a little bit of like tidbits and nuggets of going through different scenarios that you might encounter as a trauma-informed nutrition professional. So the quick announcements real quick is that tomorrow is the last Tuesday of the month. That means we do our trauma integrated nutrition counseling supervision session. It's 75 minutes of reviewing cases, asking me about techniques. Like tomorrow we're going to be talking about doing nervous system kind of regulating meals. I do things really differently than a lot of exposure therapy does, honestly, for helping people to eat a variety of foods or finish their foods. We do things a lot differently, or at least I do. And so we're going to be talking about that in tomorrow's session. So if you're interested in it, just put your name below and I will send you the link. It's $89. We do that again. There's no membership. I think at some point we might do something like that for more goodies outside of our sessions. So in those sessions, again, we do case consultation. I teach techniques. We even talk about our own nervous system regulation and how to help be solid roots for our clients so that they have something really potent to co-regulate off of. So that's what we do the last Tuesday of every month. And so that's tomorrow. If you're interested, again, put your name below. And then lastly, if anybody is interested in my 12-week intensive, basically everything put together, somatic nutrition therapy counseling skills, and that's going to be definitely, you're in this course or wanting to do that course if I'm making the assumption that like you know how to do some ACT and motivational interviewing, and you know how to work with different kinds of eating disorders. This is for really working with those clients who do have lots of nervous system dysregulation, who have trauma, who have some sensory processing, which is, I think, probably about 70% of our client population, I imagine, minimally. If the statistic holds up that 60% of our population, what is it? I don't know if 60% of our population has secure attachment. Maybe it's only like, it's between 40 and 60. The numbers I see are always different. But that means most of our clients do come with disorganized attachment, which is why it's hard for them to take in what's good for them, which is the food and nourishment and all that. And so we're going to be talking in those 12 weeks about all kinds of things that go with that. So, and definitely some skills that you're not going to have learned in basically any course around eating disorders and intuitive eating that I know that it's out there. So anyway, that's coming the end of next week. I would love for everybody who's interested to get signed up this week because I like to release week one's material. So you have time to really dive in, to listen to all the case studies, look at the materials and just try to like get yourself acclimated. So anyway, if you're interested in that, you can also put down below that you're interested in that and I'll give you the link for that as well. All right, let's get into our teaching today. So I want to talk about imagery, and it's not something I think a lot of dietitians or health professionals use, but when your client comes to you and has a hard no about something, Tracy, I don't eat at other people's houses. Tracy, I don't eat family style meals. I don't go to restaurants. They're like, not. But they're here because they want to be able to do those things, but they also tell you like, let's say I'll just give an example. I got an invitation to go to a friend's house that I really care about. I really like them. Like this person and her partner, they invited me over for dinner. They're lovely and they're welcoming and I don't want to do it. And so you're getting the push. You're getting this push there. And so you want to respect like, okay. So part of them, this is where you're looking at like your IFS kind of skills, right? So it's like part of them, they are talking to you about that because they'd like that not to be such a hard no. They feel the pull and the pang of like, I want to connect with them. I don't want to be afraid of the eating. And then they got this other part that's like, not happening. Okay. And so let's say that you've already asked them, like, well, what part of you is like, nope, not happening, not going to that, not taking that invitation for dinner. And you're like, oh, I don't know. And so you can feel the collapse happen, right? Or you can kind of tell if you've done any kind of work with this that like, okay, that's a younger part right there. That's like not able to explain, and they just have to be good, or they have to protect themselves, and they don't know why. So instead, I'm making a little insinuations here that that part is younger, that feels like it's either scared or shame. You feel some shaminess around, there's been some circumstances from the past that have happened at these meals that your client isn't maybe able to articulate, or they know they just don't want to rehash it, and that's totally fine. So you might ask, and this is where, and so I'm jumping around different things here to show you how you meld all these different kinds of modalities. So talking about IFS a little bit, and I'm also teaching a little bit about Hakomi, which is another thing I've trained in, which is basically eliciting a response. So when I say, oh, feels kind of scary eating at a dinner party, or feels kind of scary to eat at a table, I'm making a big insinuation here. And that's totally different than like motivational interviewing, right? It's totally different than like being this blank slate of no thoughts or emotions or agenda. I'm actually trying to elicit a response. I don't care if I'm wrong. It's okay, because there's this shutdown part that needs to be reached, and they're here to actually get some stuff going. At least this circumstance, I'm assuming they are, right? I'm making assumptions that they brought it up. There's a part of them that is reaching out for some connection, but is too scared or doesn't know how to articulate it, or just never has. So maybe what you get a little bit of story after you elicit, like, yeah, scary, to eat at a table. And then might have a memory, a somatic memory of like childhood dinners being like very loaded and proper and long, or just, quick to get criticized, or something's happened there. And so you want to create some imagery in that moment, if you can, of like, okay, well, what would happen if we just imagine what it would be like for that 5-year-old? Maybe they told you a story like it's a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old that had to sit at the table and be silent and endure basically like a long, fancy meal. And every meal, when they did have meals, that's the way the meals were. They were very formal. Maybe that's a circumstance. It could be something really different, like chaotic or whatever. But let's just use this example of like, it's kind of a big deal and everything has to be just right, right? Every imagery just right. The kids they're just seen and not heard. And there's no, it's almost like what happens in these situations, the kiddos start to think like, if they can't, what's wrong with me for not being able to sit through this meal and enjoy this? So they're 8, but they're parentalizing themselves, and they're trying to do something that they don't have the skill level to do, because an 8-year-old's not gonna be able to sit like a 2 to 3 hour formal dinner and not want to like get up, go play, eat their food and be done with it. And they're expected to be something that they can't be. So what's wrong with me? Okay. So the shaminess underneath the fear is like, I don't want to sit this long meal. I don't know what it's going to be like. Maybe it's going to be too hard. That's what's taken over the adult self ability to be able to take the invitation, because the adult self knows these people are lovely. They just want to, like, this is how they show their love for the neighbors. They invite them over and they have some food. Your client might know that as an adult, and they want to do that, and it's like a big next step in their recovery to be able to like do that and all that. But there's some part of them just can't go there. So the imagery is, what would it be like right now for your little one to be at the table, eat their food, and they get to bring a book or some crayons and a piece of paper. If the worst case happens, that they kind of have to sit through a meal that's kind of like, I don't know what to expect. How can I be good? How can I like follow the rules? How can I not get in trouble? But they have something to do that's more appropriate for them. It'd be interesting to see what happens for your client if they were offered that. They might have relief. It might give their adult self more room to take in that this situation is actually safe and the kids are taken care of. Let's use a different example real quick. So let's say that they don't do family meals because it was just chaotic and it was like the thing between the next terrible thing. And they only have a few meals that they ever remember feeling safe to eat, that they didn't have anticipation or terror or shame about. And so if we can bring in a protective strategy, that's what we want to do. With this exercise, the imagery is about creating possibility that there is something there for them that's at their capacity level to take care, to handle, whatever that age was. And so you're giving that part of them something to like, I'm okay, to like rest into. So they don't have to be hyper vigilant and then take over these adult eating experiences and take away from our clients competent ability to problem solve, to regulate themselves, that whole thing. So imagery can be really powerful, and I don't want you to be afraid as nutrition professionals to look at things developmentally that is inhibiting our clients' ability to use their here and now skills. All the good stuff like the meal planning, the how to know how to get your food needs met. Our clients can't utilize those adult skills if a manager or a little one is feeling really vulnerable, and there's just not room for this here and now activity that our clients desperately want to do to move on to the next level in their recovery. So play with imagery. I encourage you all to play with imagery, and if you do in a session, tell us how it went. So put it below the story that happened. Of course, you don't want to give any identifying information about your clients. We are, even though this is a private group, you know how things go. Nobody's in this group that's not a professional, of course, because I try to screen as well as I can here for that not to happen. But we still don't want to give, because I'm not, we're not in a room just doing, total as secure space as possible. So, but tell us your examples of how you used imagery, how that maybe shifted. Maybe it fell flat. That's totally fine. Tell us how it felt flat, and I would be happy to maybe we went too fast at this place, because this work is very delicate. And a conversation like this could take 30 minutes to an hour. Like a lot of times I structure my sessions where there's a warm-up time and only 30, 40 minutes of content, and then we're closing the space again. And that's what somatic work actually can look like. You got to have a landing and a closing. That way it makes it safer for our clients to be here with us with this content. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear about your experiences trying to use imagery and how it went. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Again, last call for tomorrow's supervision session. If you're interested, please just, between now and actually tomorrow's session is at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you get to me before that time, I'll be happy to get you the link and get you in. And then if you're interested in the 12-week course, which is very, very in-depth and comprehensive, and it will probably change how you practice everything in your work, which is a great thing, because we want to be able to provide a very safe, brave, nuanced way to do the work that a lot of our clients who've been stuck and looping with their disordered eating for a really long time, that they really need. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next training video. Bye for now.